this is an exciting time for you to check out the Black Business Summit too. It's September in our New York office, and then in November in the Virginia office. We've already had it in the nation's capital in February in honor of Black History Month. I think that next February we might do it in New York again. How you doing, Mr. Benta? Peace to you as well. Yes, indeed. Thank you all so much for speaking with me. I appreciate you sharing part of your Sunday with me. Yes, indeed. It has been a wonderful weekend. This discussion is about be aware. Be aware and beware. Be aware and beware, right? Beware. What to avoid. Like you see something with a huge beware sign, you know that you should stay away from it, correct? Well, that is indeed what financial dream killers do to you. I mean, we just don't think about the things that we allow to happen to us in our financial dreams. And specifically Sunday, I like to really think about entrepreneurs a little bit more because it's for many of you, the evening on Sunday is your one time that you can start being on input. And we have to be careful what we put into us, not just some toxic television or something, but to actually put in something that is about your empowerment. So thank you for allowing part of your input to include Afroeconomics on Sunday evenings. I am JB Bryan, the President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of Afroeconomics, a strategic financial management program that I designed to build wealth in America and abroad. It is all about you, building wealth within our Black community. And the Black Business Summit, don't forget, it is absolutely free to all business owners. I've also set it up where you can participate online. And then, did I say it's absolutely free to all members of Afroeconomics who make the Black Business Summit possible. And I encourage all business owners to participate. We're going to do everything from busting some of the financial habits that can be sabotaging your business. We're going to start from corporate structure and go all the way through to talking about finding investors. We do a Shark Tank presentations. So those of you who are attending, I'm going to be calling each of you individually because I want to prepare you for making a presentation. I want this to be different than anything you have ever attended. It is not one of those government small business things. This is a presentation from a 20+ year entrepreneur, and I'm bringing to you everything that I have been through so that you can avoid it. I don't want to die with any of my experiences within me. I want to die with every bit of knowledge that I have. I want to have shared it with the world. And that's really my motivation behind all of my discussions, is that I want to continue to catalog, to record this so that when I'm gone, I can be empowering generation after generation on financial empowerment. Because it's about that first principle of Afroeconomics, developing that legacy. So let's just get into it. About your financial dream killers that we need to beware of. And I like to always speak in the positive, even though we're talking about something negative. I'm going to be speaking about what you should be doing in order to avoid the opposite of this. So my first thought is to stop settling for less than what you want. It is expensive to settle for less than what you want. Even if, I have been amazed in life that often what you want, not just mentally, but actually literally what you want can cost you less than what you really get. For example, for a long time, I was told And there's probably still people telling people, but when you get grown, people stop telling you stuff or you just don't receive it. But because I started my business in my 20s, people would tell me, you need to buy, these luxury vehicles so that they represent, your success and all these different things. And, and I was like, what are you talking about? I was debt free and, building my business, everything was fine. And they kept hearing it over and over. You need to have vehicles that represent this and know it. And I wasn't really understanding my purpose. I wasn't really understanding wealth and money and how it all works at this point. So I go and I buy all these vehicles so that the people that look at me can be satisfied. So that I was doing it so that they would feel more comfortable about spending their money. And then I got to the point where I was telling them, hey, these are business vehicles. You get a W-2. You can't write off your car payment. These are business vehicles that I use to transact and take care of business, to travel to my office's business. It's a business expense that I can write off. And then I realized that most people cannot do that. Even the people that were telling me that I need to have this and they're wasting their money on these cars, they can't even write them off. So I'm realizing now that there are a lot of people that don't have anything else to use their money on. So, they can do that. But for those of us who are investment mindset, and I mean that you have things like the money that I used to spend on car payments, I now can use on going in the studio and creating podcasts. I now can use that money to create audio books that are now on Audible, and I can sell in my own bookstore, and I can use that on ordering books. And, the other day I looked at on my bookshelf in my inventory in the office and I was like, whoa, we're out of books, but you have to have those things, but I never get down to my last one. That is a tribute. I said, never, ever be anywhere without your book. So I keep it in all my briefcases and everything. So anyway, if you're not spending your money, if you don't have any investments to make, your stocks, your mutual funds, your 401k, your TSP, your business that you're building, if you don't have any investments to make, then hey, those are the type of people that need to waste their money. But if you're an entrepreneur and you have a business that you're building, we really can't afford to waste our money on luxury items. So you do that. So let's be conscious that I was settling for those luxury items because what I really wanted was a book. What I really wanted was a debt-free life. What I really wanted was the ability to go in there and write that check and buy things when I want to buy them, But that takes the discipline of getting out of debt so that you can start saving money instead of every time you get $1, you're settling for that payment plan mentality, that payment plan lifestyle. We deserve so much more than that. So stop settling for less than what you want. And then also stop thinking that you know everything. I believe that we feel like I personally make sure that I'm learning something all the time. I had a Harley Davidson for years. I've had Harleys since 2004. I have had Harleys, motorcycles. I'm a motorcycle lover. That's my hobby. But I have Harley Davidsons, but I always wanted a sport bike. Now, Harley Davidson is cool, and every time I would walk in, they would always tell me, you need this other one. They always tell me, people telling you what you need. Now, I don't need any of it. You don't need that. That's what your hobby is, what you want, what you enjoy doing. So they wanted to constantly try to make my hobby into this expensive thing. Meanwhile, I'm really thinking, I would love to have a sport bike. Always want a sport bike. So I'm riding down, coming out of the DC office, hit a pothole, burst oil, I guess, and ruins the engine. So then I'm able to decide, do I want this? Am I settling again? Am I going to know everything? You know what I'm saying? or am I going to go and investigate what would be a good fit for me? And I finally get the much less expensive Suzuki Hayabusa that I have wanted since for at least 10 years. You know, but I was settling for what I thought that I was supposed to have, you know, and I was thinking that I knew everything about that I would never be able. I was assuming and thinking that I knew it, that I would not be able to do that because I was believing what other people that thought they knew everything were saying. But think about that, you know, in business, how we cut ourselves off, how you'll say, I want to start doing this particular new product, or I've always wanted to expand the business in this particular area, but you are certain that you know everything about that. That will never happen, you know? And then so you don't receive or go and seize and go and look out, you know? Well, the dream killer is the attitude of, I know that won't work. I know everything about it and it's not there for me. It's not going to work. You know, that's the worst time when you know everything and it's closing doors for you. So let's not know everything. Let's ask all the questions that we can. Let's constantly be a lifetime learner. Also, I wanted to make sure that I'm always learning something new. Okay, I got that down. I know that. I know that bike. I know that. I was always on the same one. Now, you know, this new one is really a psychological challenge that is opening me up to what I have the capability of learning, expanding, facing fears, moving forward, you know, and just enhancing the more physical we are, the more active we are, the more that our mind opens up in business. And it definitely correlates to just making more money in your business. So stop thinking that you know everything and start investigating anything you've ever been interested in, anything you've ever wanted for yourself, your family, your business. Go and find out more because we just don't know. We don't know. And you don't even know what you don't know. So assume you don't know and let's go get the info, right? Start listening more. But when we start listening more than we're speaking, we're on input. But the challenge there is that you might listen to stuff and you actually believe it as fact. Because there are dream killers and you're out there listening to them, you know, so we have to be careful and don't do everything you listen to. Just listen to it, investigate it. And if it doesn't feel right, trust your instincts and spit it out as toxic, bad information. I can't tell you how many times even up to this week, you know, people constantly are telling me what I can't do, but they never call me back to say, I guess I was wrong. They never do. They never do. I remember this Black business owner, calls me. He wants to do marketing for me. I said, this is what I want to do. I want to, develop a relationship for national syndication. I want a podcast and I want it to be national and this and that. He said, well, it's not like that you have a name or anything. And then I emailed him back and he compared me to someone, else on national news who's never been a financial advisor and sits there and reads a teleprompter. And that is ridiculous and no comparison. But he said that out of his mouth. And I responded to him, you are no longer on my team, and make sure that you contact people because you cannot communicate with anyone regarding my business anymore. Now, I definitely was extremely disappointed, but I had to sever that tie because this is the person that I'm going to be listening to. And even worse, you're going to be paying that person to tell you that. And here I am, less than 2 years later, syndicated with AURN.com. Without having to pay him in order to do it, I did it myself. But that is the challenge that we have because people are always measuring our ability based on what they can do. And I challenge us as Black business owners, we have to stop limiting each other. If you come to me and you tell me what your financial goals are, it's not up to me to tell you, well, based on your current income, then that's, what? Well, it's not like you're XYZ multimillionaire. What? It is my responsibility to help you 100% and 110, 20%, whatever, put my best into making sure that it happens to our best ability. And it won't not happen because of lack of trying, because you're not the person, not some other person, or you're not this, or or you weren't born with money, or this and that. That's really sick when you have to be careful and not listen to people who cut your dreams short. You've got to protect your dreams with all your might. And you got to actively make sure that whatever they said you couldn't do, you get all the tools, you listen to the right feedback, you get all of the information, because we don't know everything, and we make it happen. And then our fourth point is to be fearless, because being fearful is a dream killer. Be fearless. If you're afraid of something in business, address what it is. Are you afraid of the IRS? You need to get a better understanding of tax laws. Are you afraid of hiring people, a lack of trust? Then we need to really talk about your probationary period. Take steps in order to build the trust. You need to spend more time with them before you give them passwords. What do we need to do in order to be fearless? Because fear does not make profits, unless it motivates you to create something that, really, but use it as a motivation to remove it. But generally, be fearless, be fearless, be smart, be smart. So there is no room for self-doubt. Stop procrastinating. Because a lot of self-doubt or a lot of procrastination is self-doubt. So that is a major, what is causing it? We talked about that one time, of just putting things up. What is causing it? What is causing the procrastination? Sometimes it looks like procrastination, but it's not. It's just that you don't have some things organized in order to make it possible, so you just put it off. Well, what is doing this? We have to address it, and that's where the, getting rid of the fear will come in. And then there is no room for self-doubt. Stop procrastinating. Stop believing in weekends. What day is this? It's Sunday. What was yesterday? Saturday. I worked yesterday. I worked Saturday. I worked today. I work. So if you need to have Tuesday to do personal things, you can't change that. You can't change that. You need Tuesday. So if you need Tuesday to do personal stuff for your family, then why don't you work on Saturday? So you think that you're supposed to have Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday for personal stuff? Stop robbing yourself. You're robbing yourself over something that somebody made up. Weekend. Welcome to the weekend. Really? Weekend? The week did not end. It didn't. And it just gets cold. What did they say? Now they call Thursday like Baby Friday. Oh my goodness. We get so robbed. I was speaking to a group about a wealth development yesterday, and there was a volunteer thing for wealth development for people, and and I believe, whatever, they were just financially challenged. I didn't ask a lot of questions like, do you get subsidies or something like that? I just didn't. But it was like, will you speak to these people? So when we were talking about that, and then one of the ladies was like, oh, I curl up in my bed and I read books and da 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 da. And I was like, when I hit my bed, I pass out. I pass out. Thinking, she was like, yeah, well, whatever. I'm like, we have so much effort that we can get out of ourselves. And I was like, what, I was telling them, I was like, I get up at 3:50 in the morning on most days of the week. At 3:50, unless I purposely have worked late and I'm trying to make myself sleep later. Why are we wasting so much time? So I don't know. The whole weekend mentality and the not maximizing the week and not getting the most out of every hour of the day. As entrepreneurs, we cannot afford to do that. As professionals trying to get ahead in your career, you cannot afford to do that. You have to max it out. We have to max it out for as long as you can, because you will not always be able to do that. And if wealth development is your goal, you're going to have to learn to do that. Weekend, Dr. Williams says weekend, my life is one continuous Monday. Yeah. It's only because you love Mondays. That's what it is. But yeah, indeed, I love Mondays. I always have. But we definitely, Monday just seems like it's just the greatest day. Like it's just a new beginning, everybody is, motivated in most cases and things like that. So that, it's the day when most people are on the road. That means that what? That most people are going back to work, getting it in. But it's, we can put we can add something positive to every opportunity that God gives us. So the weekend mentality can definitely be a financial dream killer. If you cannot afford to if you need more money, then stop taking those days off. Get them in. And then stop accepting and giving excuses, right? Stop it giving excuses. Stop it. No more. Whatever, you're like, what does an excuse sound like? An excuse sounds like that, I can't work on Saturdays because I don't have a ride. I don't know. That's an excuse. It really is. It's an excuse because you can get a ride, but you just haven't tried. You go, well, I'll call my cousin and that's an excuse. That's only one person. That's not a good try. I went all the way through college without a car, walked, rode buses, did whatever I had to do, did an internship in Baltimore, walked to the bus stop, take the bus stop to the metro, get it. You're going to do it. And I think that when I stopped making excuses and like blaming things on, what I couldn't do because somebody wasn't helping me and things like that, we got to leave that. Too many grown people are still making excuses about the things that they're not accomplishing. No more excuses, because they really don't care. And the people that go, oh gosh, I know, I understand. I really understand. They're probably the main people talking about us with the excuse. That's just ridiculous. I meet people all the time. Well, I used to, I don't want to hear it. And I was, and I did, and whatever, still do it. Don't talk about, I'm not going to be excited about something that did not work for you. One time I went to a business meeting and the keynote speaker was speaking to businesses and he had never had a successful business. Never. And then now he was head of a nonprofit organization that served businesses and he had failed at business. I was like, what? Who in the world? Well, how did this happen? How are you leading up businesses and you've never had a successful business? And the only business example you can give is how you went out of business. You at least do us a favor and not talk about the failure. Oh my goodness. So stop accepting and giving excuses. And then throw out toxic behavior, throw out toxic thoughts, and throw out toxic associates. Throw them out. They gotta go. As comfortable as you are with them, they have to go. You don't have to literally throw them out, but you can shut it down. They owe you money, let it go. The interaction with them constantly, is pulling you down more than any future collection that you might get from them. Let it go. They won't ask you for anything else. Let it go. Do your proper collection, due diligence, do whatever you got to do. But just any toxic situations that you have, you cannot afford to keep them. What is toxic? Something that's not helping you build. It's not advancing you. It's not getting any better. You got months that you've been looking at it and it's still the same way or worse. That's toxic. They can't ever say anything helpful. All they can tell you is what you can't do. That's toxic. It's got to go. It has to go. And then a ninth point is discipline, consistency, sacrifice are all a must. Discipline, consistency, sacrifice. Discipline, consistency, sacrifice. Consistently sacrificing. And I do. I really do. I am consistently sacrificing. That's all. That's it. But when it is what you know that you should be doing, it won't matter to you. You're consistently doing it. I know one thing. I got on that sport bike and I said, oh, dear God, thank you that I have been in the gym consistently. Because, it was pulling every little bit out of me. And it made me excited. When you have to be consistent. No, it doesn't mean your consistent sacrifice and your discipline doesn't mean that it's going to be like obvious to the whole world and, that, oh, wow, look at you, you're multi-billionaire because of all of your consistency and sacrifice. That might not happen, but you are definitely a lot better off than if you didn't practice being consistent and sacrifice and having that discipline that it requires in order to build your success. God has his choice for us all. We're not going to all be whatever, but if you do, I'm telling you, your joy and your joy and your peace will come from knowing that you did your best, that you were consistent, that you sacrificed, like that you were disciplined. Because can you imagine getting into your life and you say, if I had just been a little bit more consistent, then maybe I would have been able to achieve these things that I thought about that I wanted to do. Because that's really what it comes down to it. That at that last day that you gave it your all. Right? Like, let's live like this is it. Let's live each day like this could be your last day. And make sure that you're doing what you should be doing on every day of your life. Every minute of your life. Is this the most productive use of your life? And then finally, this is been said before, that it says like broke people make excuses, rich people make businesses. I like refuse-to-be-broke.com, and broke people make excuses, but rich people build businesses. And that can be rich in many ways. Rich in the contribution that you've made to the world, rich in your self satisfaction and the peace and the joy that you have because you're proud of yourself, just building a good life. But since we're focusing on building your individual business, your specific profession, remember that wealthy people build their business, build their life, build themselves, that it takes effort. We just want to believe that everything is easier for them, but when you get that inside scoop and you look at that inside story and you look deep in that person, everyone that has gotten anywhere in life has a story to tell. They definitely do. You got yours, we have ours, but we can't give up. We can't give up. So spend less and invest more. Invest more of your time. Don't waste your time. Invest more of your money. in your business, in your investments, make wise investments, make sure that we're doing good investment analysis, make sure that if you owe me a meeting, let's make sure that we get it done. It's not easy. We're all busy. You need to make sure that you do your quarterly meetings, quarterly calls, quarterly discussions. We've got to. I need your help to make sure that I help you address each of these things, that I help you build your business, that I help you build yourself professionally, that I help you be financially healthy and at peace and not worried. The less you worry about your financial items, the more you can focus on building yourself, building your business. You are the business. You are. So let's have that peace of mind. So let's ensure that we are conscious of beware and be aware of the financial dream killers. And in order to shut them down, we do these things. Stop settling. Stop thinking that we know everything. Start listening more. Be fearless. There's no room for self-doubt. Stop procrastinating. Stop believing in weekends. Stop accepting and giving excuses. Throw out toxic behavior, thoughts, and associates. Be disciplined, consistent, sacrifice. They are our friends. And remember that we got to build the business. We got to spend less and invest more. Make sure that we're buying assets with our money. Indeed. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Venta. Yes, indeed. Thank you all so much. Any questions before we go out? 6:31 on this beautiful Sunday. Make it happen. Don't forget the blackbusinesssummit.com. Absolutely free to members. So you can join now and go for free. God bless y'all. Thank you for your time. And I hope that you will avoid the dream killers.